Welcome to another episode of Dating App Disaster Stories podcast talk show, where we discuss all the fun and crazy topics that you love, brought to you by WeRate.Stream. I'm your host, Lola, broadcasting today from the quirkiest little vintage record store cum cafe you can imagine, because nothing says dating disaster storytelling like dusty vinyl and overpriced espresso, am I right? So grab your drink, cozy up, and get ready for some cringe, suspense, and a little bit of sass. All right, friends, today's theme is the grand location letdown, those painfully awkward dates that took place in the most bizarre, uncomfortable, or downright disastrous venues. And trust me, we've got some gems. All stories come straight from you, our brave listeners, who survived and lived to tell the tale. Let's kick it off with our first story, sent in by a guy named Mark from London, UK. Here's his tale. So, I finally matched with this amazing woman on a dating app. She suggested we meet at a pottery class, which sounded cute and creative, right? Well, it was my first time ever trying pottery, and apparently I have zero coordination. The wheel spun out of control, I flung a glob of wet clay across the room, which, of course, hit her brand new white shirt. She was not amused. The instructor gave me the look, and I could literally feel my dignity pouring down the drain with the muddy water. Needless to say, the date ended early, with me apologizing profusely and no second date offer in sight. Oh, Mark, I feel your pain. Pottery classes? How are you supposed to romance through mud without turning into a mess queen? Okay, fun fact, it's totally normal to be clueless at something new. And if your date is any kind of decent human, they should laugh with you, not glare like you just doused them with acid. But props to Mark for trying something different. Now, what's the right way to handle that, people? First, own it. Apologies are great, but also a little humor goes a long way. Like, well, at least I left my mark on you forever. It prids the tension. And the wrong way? Obviously, freezing, getting overly defensive, or worse, dropping out mid-date because you're too embarrassed. All right, story 2 comes from Jen, an East Coast listener who offers this uncomfortable gem. We went to this super fancy wine tasting event. I, being a bit of a lightweight, wasn't prepared. Within 30 minutes, I was hopelessly tipsy, laughing louder than I probably should have, and pretty much slurring my answers to every question. My date looked mortified, and halfway through, he grabbed his jacket and said, "Hey, I think I need some air." Spoiler, he never came back. Oh, Jen, cheers and bless you for being painfully honest. Wine tastings can feel like a game of sophistication roulette. And sure, if you don't pace yourself, it gets sad real fast. The right approach? Know your limits and maybe have a little snack beforehand. If you find yourself slipping, a graceful excuse to step outside, grab some water, or even cracking a joke about your wine hustle might save face. The wrong move? Trying to outdrink the sommelier or pretending you don't feel the buzz when everyone can see the wino vibes streaming off you. Now for a little twist, here's a story from a listener named Alex, who got an unexpected delivery during a virtual date from their apartment. My date and I were deep into conversation, well, mostly me talking nervously while he patiently listened. Mid-chat, my cat decided this was the perfect moment to leap onto my laptop keyboard and send a totally random string of gibberish in the chat window. My date burst out laughing, and honestly, it completely broke the ice. It ended up being one of the most relaxed and genuine conversations I've had. I love this. Why? Because sometimes the universe, or your furry little terror, crashes your carefully crafted vibe in the best possible way. The right way to handle this? Embrace it. If your pet or your kid or even a sudden loud neighbor interrupts your date, just roll with the punches. It instantly makes you relatable and human. The worst would be to get embarrassed and panic, because that awkward moment will only feel heavier. Just don't meet your date inside a neon-lit haunted house unless you want us to roast you relentlessly on here. All right, beautiful people, that's a wrap for today's episode of Dating App Disaster Stories. Remember, whether you're dodging rogue pottery splash zones, navigating your inner wine warrior, or letting your cat wreak havoc on your cyber love life, the trick is to keep it real, keep it light, and remember, everyone has a disaster story. It's how you bounce back or laugh through it. Well, we hope you enjoyed another one of our episodes, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for early hidden episodes. And of course, leave a comment to tell us what you think. See you next time.